tell you about the French-Canadian kid I worked with in Vienna?
I don't think so.
This kid, when I was working at a school in Vienna, I was kind of working as a one-on-one tutor for this French-Canadian kid. And he was really funny. And he's a 6th grader. And one day, out of nowhere, he's like, "Did you know time travel is real?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Yeah, if you want to time travel, all you have to do is climb into a coffin and sleep in there overnight. And then when you wake up in the morning, you've time traveled." And I was like, "What the? You barely know how to read. Where do you get this stuff?" And then about a year later, I saw Primer. And I was like,
so he had seen Primer,
I was like, did this 6th grader watch Primer? and understand it?
Wow.
That is the only explanation I could have. I was like, oh my God, that was what he was saying. He was explaining the plot of Primer to me.
Another explanation, he's a time traveler.
Oh, man.
And he was just speaking the truth to you.
Yeah, I guess Thomas could have been a time traveler. But, man, I was just like, he just described the plot of Primer to me. It was way too late to ask him, too, because I was living in Sweden at the time, so I wasn't going to see him again. So I'm like, man, I'll never know. But, I mean, that's the only... Unless, yeah, he was in the box, too.
So this line of conversation really leads me right into, wait, what?
You're just not thinking fourth dimensionally.
Right, I have a real problem with that.
Are you ready for this?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Rapid fire questions.
Why is Aaron so concerned with the welfare of Rachel? Why is he going back and doing this 4, 5, 6, 7 times, however many times it takes, just to put this guy away?
I think this is an event that could have had a dramatic impact, right?
Yeah.
If I were going back and I were testing to see how far the elasticity of this project goes, I would be like, okay, well, I don't want to think small. I want to think middle of the road. And middle of the road would be, let me invite this guy to the party. And then when he shows up hostile, can I stop it? Can I change that track? Can I get this guy off the table?
So you don't think that there's any kind of humanitarian effort on Aaron's part? You think this is all just sort of a
test? I think it's probably a test. I don't know if Aaron is selfless. It seems like a selfless act.
And that's
right?
what he keeps saying is like, I want to make sure that he goes to jail.
Right.
I can do this better. I don't want him to come back and hurt her later.
Right.
I can do something now. You know, so all of those justifications lead us to believe that he's doing this altruistically for Rachel's favor.
But he wants to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
This should be Abe's thing.
Right, but that's the thing. Why does Aaron want to do this? To show that he can.
Okay.
Happens to have Rachel's best interests at heart, and he's probably convinced himself. Like, this is probably the reason he's pursuing this, is because it's the easiest way to get Abe's buy-in on it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I think Aaron's tooling around with things betray his real motives.
Okay.
Which is to just see if he can.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so at the end of this movie, when the two of them are in the airport and the third Aaron, who's finally gotten the outcome at the party that he wanted, and Abe, who came back having used the failsafe to try and stop everything, Aaron is confused why Abe wants to stick around and not come with him to Costa Rica or to go out on his own or something like that. Why are you staying here?
Mm-hmm.
And I might be imagining things, but it seemed like there was some implication that Abe cared more for Aaron's family than Aaron does.
Oh, maybe.
There's a sense that Abe wants that family, and then not just the wife, like the little girl and all of that. Like,
I think that's possible.
And it's certainly shown from a perspective for the welfare of these kids, but also maybe from a little selfish aspect. But what it also shows is that Aaron, there are now 3 Aarons, and 2 of them have left his family. Just like up and left his family with no regard.
Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of crazy because there is still that one Aaron who's there with the family.
Right.
And he's like, okay, well, he's got it.
Yeah.
Nate, after the weekend I've had, that's just what this has done to Aaron Prime.
It could be. I don't know. Okay, question 3. When Abe first used the failsafe because Granger is out and he's got a double and there's more at stake here than Abe is willing to take responsibility for. He's just like, all right, I just got to stop all this. After he's made that decision is when he then is convinced by Aaron to go and make all these changes at the party.
Right.
So even Abe, whose main mission at this point is to stop all of it from happening, decides when he gets there to go ahead and change things anyway.
He does agonize over it. Remember when he slumped down against the wall?
I think now that I'm talking it through, though, in wait, what? I think he may... Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, though, because he determines that the Aaron he's talking to isn't original Aaron.
Yes.
His mission is blown up right there.
Right.
There's nothing he can do at that point. His failsafe box only goes back far enough to this point.
Yes.
And it doesn't go back far enough to stop second Aaron from putting first Aaron up in the attic.
Exactly.
And taking his place.
Yeah.
So, and that all works because Aaron took a box in a box.
Yeah, he had a box that broke down and he packed in the box with him. So when he got out, it's just like the cell phone, right? He had his cell phone in the box and he was able to leave with the cell phone, right? He took a second box back to an earlier point.
That's trippy. A time machine in a time machine allowed him to get further back into the past than Abe has the ability to.
Yeah.
So Abe is feeling, I guess, defeated at that point and just has to sort of go along with what Aaron has planned because there's nothing he feels like he can do about it.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. As soon as he realizes Aaron is a future version, he just faints. He's like, oh my God, this is just too much. And you, the viewer, probably have a similar response at that point.
Yeah, I thought he fainted because of time travel.
No, I think it was circumstantial. I think it was what was happening. Like, he realized, oh shit,
Okay. But he doesn't really figure it out until he faints, and then he's on the ground, and he can hear the recording.
Well, Aaron realizes first that the dialogue's out of sync,
Right.
And that version of Abe remembers their original conversation. So when Abe goes up to him, and he's responding with all the same responses he responded with the first time, Abe realizes, oh shit, this has always been your game. I thought I was showing you all of this, but you've been playing me the whole time.
Right.
Right.
So even when we were watching it for the first time, that's just Aaron faking it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Yeah. Pretty good.
I mean, Aaron, not Carruth necessarily.
I think Carruth is very good in this.
Yeah, he's all right.
But I think the fact that all of these guys are just dudes. They're all just people that were cast in this. Like, none of them are famous.
Right.
Again, adds to the authenticity of the whole project. The same way Blair Witch did. Blair Witch just cast 3 unknown people, and by the summer of 1999, we were convinced all 3 of them were dead. Despite them appearing on, like, David Letterman, we were like, no, that's not right. They're dead. They died in the woods. We saw the movie.
Yeah, the ad campaign for that was that it was real. Yeah.
Man, so good. Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Here's a thought about the future, what could happen and how Granger could be part of it, right? Who's to say that Aaron couldn't build his warehouse-sized box and then turn that on and send somebody back from the future there and then put that person in a second box that was started at an earlier point and gradually work your way back to the original boxes in the storage unit, which would be how Thomas Granger ended up all the way back there from some
Yeah, I
indeterminate
mean, I guess
point
if
in the
your
future.
box is, I guess if your box is the size of a warehouse and you put boxes in the box, that's the part that gets really confusing.
Yeah. Well, the starting point that you can't go back further than would be the original failsafe.
Right.
But we don't know when the original failsafe was activated. We just know that it was activated before the box that Abe used the first time.
Right.
So that could have been turned on any time before that.
But the further you get into the future, the longer you have to stay in the box to get back to that point.
Right. Which is what's interesting about Granger is that he seemed disheveled.
Yeah. In order for him to get back to even the failsafe point, would have had to be in that box. It could have been weeks.
Yeah, right.
You know? Like,
right.
It's, yeah. Man.
So, we have not played the tomato game in a long time.
Yeah, I missed the last round, and then we had all those comic books, and they don't have a... I guess there's not a Rotten Tomatoes for comics.
I guess not, but I bet there's some kind of review site or something that we...
I don't know if IGN still reviews comics, but for instance, I'm sure they review a comic, and then there's like a user score or something just for
Right.
them that's kind
Probably
of like...
not worth it.
There's not enough people reviewing comics to make an aggregate site like Rotten Tomatoes.
Probably not issue 20 of Secret Avengers from, what was that, 2012?
Right. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say there was no dedicated reviewer of comics in 1964.
Fair. Yeah.
They're all garbage.
Yeah, the last...
It was just your mom, and they were all garbage.
The bullies at school also, I think.
Yeah, what's this garbage?
Yeah, so we're going to play it with Primer, which was last week's episode. But
All right.
one of the things I wanted to mention in last week that I didn't was the title. Did we talk at all about the title?
Maybe not. It's all very foggy. You know, you take a few trips in that box and your brain really starts to go places.
Yeah, which one of us is living in the other's past right now? That's but I never understood the title. Really? Do you have any insight into that? I know you listened to the director's commentary, so I thought maybe he had mentioned something in that, maybe?
No. The answer to that question is no. But the only thing I can think of is that the term primer is generally used for first runs at things, whether it's paint, whether it's like molecular. That's where the word primer...
The first run at things, yeah.
You have to prime your lawnmower, things like that. You've got to get it started.
That's what
right?
I know it from.
You know what I mean? And so this is like the thing that starts, I guess, a larger engine, right?
Right. Okay.
So it's like the ignition point of this larger idea. That's the best I got for you. I don't know.
The reason I wanted to ask you about it is because I did find an interview that Shane Carruth had given, and he was talking a little bit about where the title came from, but it was following the point that you did make about their ethics, the characters being engineers that had never really been faced with ethical questions.
Okay.
And he kind of put that together with the name of the movie. In this interview that I read, it says, I saw these guys as scientifically accomplished, but ethically morons.
Yeah.
They never had any reasons to look into ethical questions, so when they're hit with this device, they're blindsided by it. The first thing they do is try to make money. So to me, they're kids, prep school kids, or primers.
Okay. Yeah.
He also says that it's about being first in line, and the whole notion is that Aaron felt like he was living in Abe's past, and he didn't like that.
So he's gonna nudge his way into the front. Yeah. Okay.
He says here, they're not at the front of the line anymore, and they're living in someone else's past, to be secondary in that world. The thing that is most important is to feel like you're in the front of the line, to be prime or primer. Definitely never wanted to say that in the film, but that's where it comes from.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Makes sense now. I guess I never really used the term primer before, like outside of the lawnmower. That was
Yeah. And the first thing I think of is a coat of paint.
right.
Right. Like those sorts of things, but
Never really thought about it with prep schools or primary school, I guess is where it comes from.
reading Lexile levels, things like that, we consider like primer texts would be like
Oh, is it
for
primer?
juvenile. Well, he pronounces the movie title primer. But when we're talking about juvenile reading tests, same word but pronounced primer instead of primer.
Oh.
Which is fundamentally off for me from a language perspective. But so much of English is.
Well, the word is primer, but as we're teaching it to read, we're going to say
Exactly.
primer.
Exactly. So this word is primer? No, you're wrong. Bad job, Johnny. Bad job. But I get that. I like that read, and I think it works both ways. Like
Yeah.
on a thematic level, it works much more from that sense that Carruth is getting at there with the notion of being first and trying to nudge your way into that first slot.
Yeah, a lot of his themes are based on being first through the door, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, I guess that's where it comes from. But yeah, as far as the game here, Spoiled Tomatoes, this is going to be interesting to me. And I hesitate to give any kind of preface that might give you a hint which way to lean, but it's a surprising number to me when I saw it.
I don't know. There are movies where it's like, well, obviously that scored really, like Midnight in Paris.
Right.
Right? It's like, okay, well, obviously that score is going to be really high on the review end of it. But Primer is a weird movie because it is a really, really well-crafted independent movie, right?
Okay.
That goes over the heads of a lot of people. And I'm not saying that to talk down about anybody. It's designed to go over your head, almost, right?
Right, yeah.
So I could see somebody giving this a once through and thinking, wow, that was remarkable, I need to see it again. And I could see somebody else, just as valid a point, saying, wow, that was complicated and I don't think I want to watch it again.
Right.
And coming away with yeah, okay, whatever kind of appraisal of it.
So I hope you have a strategy then.
I don't. I don't at all.
No strategy.
No strategy at all on this.
Well, just to remind folks, every episode is somebody's first episode. So Spoiled Tomatoes is a game we're going to have Brian make his best guess on a few things here. The Rotten Tomatoes score, whether it is certified fresh or not, for 1 point. Whether the audience score or the critics score is higher, which could earn him 2 points. If he guesses the score within 10 percentage points, it's a 5-point score. If you guess within 3 percentage points, it's a 10-point score. Okay, if you nail it dead on, you get 20 points. And if you get them both dead on, it's an additional 50 points.
Well, forget that.
So that's pretty much the win right there. But like I said, I think this might be deceiving. So I'll let you go ahead here. Let's see. Do you suppose that this is a certified fresh movie?
Now, certified fresh is, again, 69, above 69?
No, it's above 75.
Above 75.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 75 and above.
75 and above is certified fresh. I'm going to say no
Okay.
on certified fresh.
Wow, really? All right. So you think it's lower than 75. Given that, is the audience score higher or the critics score?
Critics score is higher.
Okay.
I don't know. This movie's really well regarded
Yeah.
in a lot of circles.
Are you backtracking?
I might backtrack and certify it fresh. Yeah, God, this is tough. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to say it certified fresh.
Oh, you're going back to question 1.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm going to keep everything else. Like, I'm going to say it's certified fresh. I'm going to say the critics score is higher than the audience score.
Okay, so you think the critics is higher and it's certified fresh. All right. Give me your percentages, sir.
Jeez. I'm just going to inverse it. I'm going to say 86 critic score,
Okay.
68 user score.
Oh, 86 and 68, huh?
I know what you're saying. Why not 96 and 69, right? Wouldn't that be better? In a lot of ways, yes.
Nice. Okay, well, all right, here for the results.
Oh, God.
I can tell you that backtracking was a poor decision.
Damn it. Damn it. I knew it.
This is not a certified fresh movie, which means that your critics' score guess of 86% is
Out of line.
Is off. Yeah.
Way out of bounds.
The critics' score for this movie is 72%.
God damn it. It was initially like, I was like 73. I think I'm going to go 73. And then I was like, nah, I'm not going to go 73. God damn it.
Oh, man. You
So damn close on that.
You know, you're going to have to live this day again and try it over.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I would use it for, obviously.
Right. So you said the audience score, the popcorn bucket, you said 68. Survey said 79.
Oh, man, so I'm right out of bounds on that one, too.
Right outside of the 10. Boy, just by like 1 percentage point.
And so the user score is higher than the critic score, too.
Correct.
Wow.
So, bum.
Just a real lemon this week.
Yeah, you blanked it. Oh, my goodness.
God. Wow. Yeah, that is kind of wild.
Wow. I haven't seen a spoiled tomato score that low since Free Jack. Where the critics and audience score were an identical 25%.
One of those rare moments of solidarity.
Well, I mean, like I said, really bizarre. Now that we know, it's like 72 and 80. Interesting that the audience likes it better than critics.
See, this was my thought behind it. By and large, critics review this movie after seeing it one time. Any movie, they see it, they submit a review for it, right?
Right.
And most critics, I don't think, would have had the option to see it a second time before reviewing it.
Yeah, they probably just saw it at the film festival or something like that.
Right, yeah, and it feels like something you could walk away from saying, like, okay, that was pretentious, and that was a little bit over the top.
Yeah.
It was not my thing. But the user reviews have the benefit of hindsight, because I could go in and write a user review now and nudge that needle up a little.
That's true,
right?
for like a really old movie.
You know?
Yeah.
So it made sense to me, again, that there could be a divide where the users overpowered the critics. Obviously, I didn't go in that direction at all with my answers. I just kind of...
But it makes sense you put it together after the fact, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like, those users are coming back and saying, like, oh, yeah, this movie, you watch it 3 times, and it's mind-blowing, you know?
Right. Carruth, I think, wrote it. Like, there's a moment there where he mentions he didn't dumb down the language because he expected people would continue to come back just to try and get it.
Yes.
You know?
So I guess he was a little pretentious about it.
Maybe,
but I mean,
maybe so.
But he delivered too. So, but again, yeah, like we've got the benefit of hindsight and coming at it from being able to see in it what Carruth is trying to achieve and being able to enjoy it over and over and over again.
Right. I will say I was surprised by all of the numbers, honestly, because everything I'd heard about this movie was how good it was. Like, I never heard anybody talk about Primer without saying that it was good in the next breath. You know, like, when it's a small film like that, nobody's bringing it up unless they liked it. You know what I mean? So I was surprised to see that it was like kind of that middle road on the good side, 70%, you know?
Yeah. Like it's fine. But it's just like not for everybody.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
That's good. Let's hear it.
It's a good transition. We like to read out some of the reviews from the audience scores. I usually try to find the worst ones I can find. This is from July 9, 2025.
Wow, so that's...
Talk
like
about
last
hindsight.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly a month ago.
Rock H says, 1 star.
Oof.
Primer is what happens when 2 mid-level IT guys stumble into a time loop and decide to whisper through the whole movie so that no one can tell they're bullshitting.
That's funny.
The science feels like it was cribbed from a C-plus science fair project, and the dialogue is like watching 11th graders act out a fantasy of what smart people sound like. If you're into cardboard pacing, mumbled jargon, and zero emotional stakes, buckle up. Everyone else, go rewatch The Langoliers.
What?
And enjoy actual cosmic dread. Normally on Rotten Tomatoes, I align with the audience scores. This time, I don't. I can't even imagine why it's at 79%. If you asked me without looking, I would have guessed 13%. So at least Rock would have done worse than you at the tomato game.
That would have been a lot worse, yeah. Wow.
You just mentioned that the movie can kind of come off a little pretentious. I could see that. But Rock, it's too stupid for him.
Yeah, I know. That's really funny. But I mean, if we take what Carruth said about them being relatively juvenile in certain ways, and we think of it like the project itself, yeah, it is kind of like a slapdash science project, because it is, right?
Right.
Part of this is the point.
Right. I think one of the interesting things, again, something I found out after the fact, Carruth mentions that so many great scientific breakthroughs are made by accident.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, they were working on something, and time travel ended up being a byproduct. I think that's kind of cool. But, you know, Rock, to each their own. The Langoliers, if that's what you're into, enjoy actual cosmic dread.
It's coming, don't you understand?
Langoliers are coming. They're coming for you. And they are very, very hungry.
They will eat you alive! Alive and screaming!
That was his alternative to this. Like, I expected, like, maybe Back to the Future or like something.
Or at least like a couple of examples. Like when he started with Langoliers, I thought, surely the Langoliers or this or this or this.
But it's just the Langoliers.
The Langoliers.
You know what would be
man.
awesome? Is if every review he had on Rotten Tomatoes referenced the Langoliers at the end.
You should look up his reviews and see if Langoliers
That's
is
his
just
thing.
like his only 5-star review.
The Langoliers is to Rock's Rotten Tomatoes as the time regressor is to our podcast. It's like the bulwark.
It just keeps climbing up his list.
It's like Langoliers.
You know what, Langoliers?
And
It really is pretty good.
And before you know it, his entire personality is defined by the Langoliers. This is how it happens.
Okay, I got another one here from Dan. Another 1-star review. The only way I would use the word cerebral to describe this smug, waxing, poetic, existential melodrama is that its head is buried so far up its ass it's reached its brain.
That's incredible. I think that's better than most reviews for anything. You know, like a lot of movie reviewers are just like trying to get that quote that goes in the commercial.
Right.
Like this guy has nailed it.
Austin only gave it half a star.
Oof.
This is the lowest rating that I could find. It's a true achievement to take a plot device so interesting and create such a boring film out of it. 1/2 star.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, a little strange. So, I'm going to read one more here because Logan D is making some interesting points here. He's only given it 2 stars, so it's a bad review.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I agree with all of it, but it's kind of interesting. So, Logan says, 2 scientists accidentally discover the secret to time travel. They want to make money. I've been looking forward to this film for years. I've just kept putting it off. After viewing, I wish I'd put it off forever. I've heard many say that this is the best time travel movie ever. If they mean it makes more of an attempt at a scientific explanation than most, maybe. But I found it boring. It features obfuscation instead of mystery. That's what I think is interesting.
Okay. Huh.
The viewer is left attempting to fill in gaps instead of being provided with intriguing clues. There are sound and lighting issues that interfere with the experience. There are some shots that seem more at home in the found footage film, which is interesting because we talk so much about Blair Witch.
Yeah, I would say especially when they're chasing the girlfriend's dad.
Yeah,
in
the nighttime. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the nighttime stuff definitely feels that way.
So then he ends this with, here are my favorite timey-wimey movies I think are vastly superior to Primer. Aporia Lola?
What?
Aporia Lola, Lola, from 2022.
Is this all one word or two words?
2 words. It's low budget and vastly superior to Primer, apparently.
It's from when?
2022? Aporia Lola.
Does that have anything to do with Yu-Gi-Oh?
I have no fucking clue, man. I mean, I'm literally, this is all I have for you. The way he spelled the title and the year.
All right.
It's apparently very low budget.
Lola. I think it's just called Lola, from what I can see. I found the trailer for it.
Okay.
This sounds very interesting. I think he might be onto something here. Wow.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
You know, I'm not just...
Yeah. Let's leave that tab open.
Yeah. The other ones that he listed here, The Infinite Man, which one of our viewers recommended in a letter segment, The Infinite Man.
Yep.
About Time, he says. The Navigator. I wonder if he means
Is it Flight of the Navigator?
He says 1988, so I think he means Flight of the Navigator.
Flight of the Navigator, yeah.
This first-class maneuver allows me to slide through your planet's thick atmosphere. I can move at any speed. I can speak thousands of languages. I can analyze species from civilizations light years beyond your own.
But can you fix the seat?
Compliance.
That's great. Now could you slow down a little?
Compliance.
Cool.
And then Slaughterhouse-5, Time Crimes, Time Lapse, and Coherence.
Oh, Coherence is another one that keeps getting brought up.
I thought it was interesting he mentioned Time Crimes,
Yeah.
because I hadn't heard of that. He mentioned Slaughterhouse-5, which obviously we read or listened to. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting list because some people had mentioned The Infinite Man. He's got Slaughterhouse-5. He's got Time Crimes. And his explanation for why he's giving it 2 stars is it's legitimate.
Yeah. It's like okay.
Is it just confusing instead of an actual kind of mystery?
Well, it is confusing by design, and I don't think it's a cop-out, though. You know, the part that we went back to and the part that I think most people are going back to, and he's probably talking about, is where did the dad come from?
Granger, yeah.
Right? Where did Granger come from? How did he travel back? We're just left to wonder about that. There's no answer there. Right? And Carruth, the way it's presented there is deliberate on his part because he wanted the viewers and the primary users of the contraption to be just as confused. Right? And neither party has any idea how this guy came back, where he came from.
Yeah,
right?
It's actually one of the things that I like the most about the story.
Yeah. They go about this process feeling like there's no significant change they can make to anything that's going to really impact, or at least Aaron's just like, we can do whatever we want. Nothing's going to cause the universe to fall apart. Right? But what happens when they lose control? And that's the thread that Granger represents. There's this lack of control in there.
Right.
And it's a hint that you're not going to be able to control this forever.
Right. Based on the theme with the title of the movie and everything, it's about being at the head of the line, right? Time travel can kind of make you feel omniscient.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a power struggle there when you feel like you know more than most, and then you get this big mystery. I like the idea that there's no answer for it.
Well, to me, and the way I sort of rationalize it, and the movie invites it, is that once that very first machine came online, and there are another 2 machines online as well,
right?
there needs to be at least one machine online at all times for all of them to intersect and create sort of a bridge, right? So you could eventually be 20 years down the road and just keep cycling back and climbing into another machine.
Right.
And cycling back and cycling back and cycling back, right? And eventually get back to where it all started when the first machine went online.
Right, but you'd be the same age. I mean,
right, you'd still be living just as long, right?
Yeah, and you'd be in the box for years.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you could do it. And if it was like, not thinking like you're going to be spending 20 consecutive years in a box. Again, you just need them to overlap, right?
But if your box is the size of a warehouse, and who knows what else can be in there at a given time, maybe you just live in an apartment that's traveling in time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
just
perpetually. Like how big
yeah.
is this thing going to be? Anyway,
yeah.
I think it's a legitimate point of view Logan has. I think it is interesting that it's just the viewer being left attempting to fill in gaps on their own. Like, if you're really trying to do that, then yeah, maybe that's a hard viewing experience. But I guess the idea is that the question is the thing.
Yes.
It's not deserving of an answer. But yeah, that's all I really pulled from the screen here. And like I said, a big goose egg today.
I really tanked that. I will say, though, that I think as hard as this one is, I'm going to have a much harder time with the next movie.
I think you need to watch it first.
I'm just going to say, like, I don't know how many reviews could possibly exist for this thing. But just because I haven't heard of it doesn't mean other people haven't. And so I'll be interested to see it and go from there. But
that's leading into Star Trek month. Let's remind listeners that September we will be covering a different episode of Star Trek every week.
Once again, we will probably not be getting to the episode you're expecting.
Who wants to hear about those? Everybody.
We're not doing Trials and Tribulations this year, guys. Sorry.
Spoilers. Next week we will do Time Guardian.
Well, until then, guys, thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe to this show on your preferred podcast app, and be sure to rate the show if you can and leave us comments. You can also drop us a line at ohboyqlpod@gmail.com. That's if you want to remain less public with your comments towards us. You can always, comment on the show itself, but that's fine too.
I had this thought today.
Yeah.
Do you have a Letterboxd?
I do have a Letterboxd.
Should we have a Letterboxd?
Oh man, I like that. I do like that. Yeah.
Like an Oh Boy Letterboxd. Again, there's no Letterboxd for comics.
It's not going to have Dogman on it. It would be for time travel movies that we've watched, not like just movies that we watch.
Yeah.
Nate, I saw movies this week that are at the polar ends of the spectrum of quality of 2025.
How do you mean?
I mean, I saw one of the absolute best movies of the year, and I saw what will inevitably be the worst movie I watch all year.
Did you watch that Amazon
War of the Worlds
movie?
Holy fuck, yes I did.
Why did you do that?
I became physically ill 2/3 of the way through it.
Why did you do that?
Violently ill, and it is baffling. It's remarkably bad. I don't know. I don't know, Nate.
Brian, I'd like to have sympathy for you, but my feeling is you're going to have no excuse if I try to record one night and you still haven't seen Time Guardian. Or I'll be like, you're out there watching shit
That's true.
like
That's
War
true.
of the Worlds.
Yeah, I watched it while I was on vacation, and I had to split it into like 3 parts because I just could not sit through. It's like impossible to fucking watch.
Why try? I know. Man.
It was bad. But you know what was great? Weapons. The new movie from Zach Krieger, who did Barbarian.
Oh, okay.
Ago. Oh my God, is that good?
Okay.
That's a good one, folks.
Yeah, there's a Half in the Bag episode on Red Letter Media about that movie. I haven't watched it.
Just no notes. Great movie.
Wow. All right. Better than Sinners?
I don't think so. I think Sinners is still top of the year for me, but this gets real close.
Okay.
Yeah, it's within striking distance, I think. Great movie.
Okay.
And it's got the guy, you remember the actor who played Artie, the strongest man in the world on Pete and Pete?
I'm picturing him. I'm not sure I know who he is.
It's got the actor that played him in it.
That's funny.
As a police chief.
It's funny that you identified that.
It took a while. There's a lot of people. Well, not a lot. There's like 2 people in this movie that I'm like, oh, that's who that was. Amy Madigan from Field of Dreams.
Oh, the wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is in this movie. And it did not register until like today that's who that was in this movie.
I can't imagine what she'd look like today.
I'll tell you what, she doesn't look like the character she plays in this movie. Anyway, go see Weapons.
All right, so OhBoyQLPod at gmail.com. We've got the socials.
We got social media. We got Blue Sky. We got Instagram. We got the threads. Find us at OhBoyPod on all of those apps.
And then a Letterboxd if we're interested. Soon?
Yeah, and then
maybe
I'll get that. I'll get that together. I think we could get that together.
We could like get some kind of aggregate feeling between the two of us
about those
right?
movies.
Like, it's rare that we completely disagree.
That's true. Yeah.
So until then,
the balcony is closed. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm Brian,
and I'm Nate,
and we'll see you in the future.
Our work is done. I move we adjourn.
You're just not thinking fourth dimensionally.
Right, I have a real problem with